Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing very well today. In this video, well, we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to talk about a few guitars that I let slip away. I still think about these guitars and wish I had hung on to them. Hindsight's 20/20 and interests change, but looking back, I'm like, man, I wish I still had that guitar, or I still think about that guitar. So that's what we're going to do today. We'll have some fun with it. Let's get going. Right, so as I'm going through my list, I'd definitely love to know if you guys had a guitar that you let slip away that you kind of regret, whether it had sentimental value or something else. But if you ever had a guitar and you think back and you're like, man, I wish I had kept that guitar, let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to find out what kind of guitar that was and what the situation was around it. So here we go, here's my first guitar. Number one on my list of why did I do that was my black Gretch Duo Jet. I still think about that guitar from time to time. What a fantastic instrument. I'll show some clips as I talk about these guitars. But yeah, that Gretch I still think about. Every time I pick up a Les Paul, I'm like, that Gretch Duo Jet. I kind of wish I had that guitar. At the time, I had picked up some lower end Pro Jets. I really like those guitars. I was playing those a lot. I'd picked up a 6118 as well. Fantastic instrument. I ended up trading that one off too. That's a whole nother story. But the Gretch I think about is that black Duo Jet. It was my first Gretch I ever bought, and really my first experience with Gretch as a guitar company and stuff like that. I really, really love that guitar. Great history with Gretch, the Duo Jet, history back into the 50s, so it's a really storied brand and model as well. So that one I really miss. Yeah, and really the reason why I traded it off was because, yeah, I was playing some of those lower entry-level Gretches, having a blast with those guitars. And then, yeah, after I, sold those ones off or whatever, I was like, maybe I should have just hung on to that Duo Jet. So that's definitely one I miss to this very day. Let's look at number two. All right, now the second guitar that I wish I had hung on to is a little bit of a random choice, but what a fantastic guitar it was. The Eastman Sb 59. Fantastic instrument made by hand for a fraction of the price of like a Gibson R9, but they had all the specs nailed, including things like a one-piece mahogany body, almost unheard of these days. Super resonant. I think they had Lawler pickups. They had the neck carve just perfect on them. Basically a perfect reproduction of a Gibson 1959. But like I said, at a fraction of the price. And I think at the time, anything over 8 pounds, they wouldn't even ship out. So anything you got was going to be 8 pounds or less. Just fantastic instruments. So I traded it off with a dude, didn't know who he was. A couple of years later, I ran into him and he's like, remember that 59 that, we traded? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I played on that guitar, loved it. He's like, I ended up selling it. I really regret that. I was like, yeah, me too. So anyway, fantastic guitar, and it really gave you a vintage experience and a handmade guitar, but yeah, for a couple grand versus like 5 or 6 grand. So anyway, fantastic guitar, loved that one, wish I'd hung on to it. Number 3, G&L ASAT. What was I thinking? What a great guitar, and a perfect kind of testimony to Leo Fender's life. I mean, the guy never mailed it in. He was innovating all the way up to the end. And I mean, Fiesta Red, maple fingerboard, come on. Fantastic looking guitar. Loved the pickups. They just gave something completely different to a Telly. And I mean, you could get Telly tones out of it. You lower the pickups, but what I loved is each individual one of the pull pieces on the bridge pickup and the neck pickup were fully adjustable. So you could like lower the pickups, lower the pull pieces, and it took you straight to vintage Telly territory. And if you wanted something a little bit more, I don't know, that could hit the amp a little harder, a little bluesier, fuller sounding, just raise the pickups, raise the pull pieces. You could balance your strings just the way you wanted it with those adjustable pull pieces. Just genius. Anyway, fantastic guitar. That's one I shouldn't have let get away. Now the next guitar really shouldn't be on the list, but it's such a fantastic instrument. I would be remiss if I didn't mention it, to the point where, if I picked my top 5 or 10, this guitar would be on it, or this series of guitars anyway. The Ibanez S Series Prestige, made in Japan. My model was the S5521. Loved that guitar. We did a giveaway and I sent it off to one of you guys, so it's got a great home. So no regrets on that. I really appreciate all you guys tuning into the channel week in and week out. So we'll do other giveaways as well. But yeah, that guitar, to the point where I think top 5, top 10 for sure. That series of guitars, so fantastic. Lightweight, playable, ergonomic, and I just love the S series body. It's just, yeah, the made in Japan ones are just, as I've showed you guys many times, just so thin, so playable. Love the HH version of that. But really any S series Prestige made in Japan, Ibanez of that caliber, fantastic instruments. So yeah, definitely check those ones out. But yeah, that's one that really shouldn't be on the list, but I'm like, I'd be surprised if I didn't end up with another S series in the future. I love those guitars a lot. Now, believe it or not, I have gotten rid of some Tellys over the years. Rookie mistake, I know, never get rid of a Telly. Most of them I'm completely fine with, but there was one that I really thought I would hang on to the end, and I probably should have. It was my Y2k Telly. It was made in year 2000, and that's pretty much as old as I've ever gotten. I'm not a vintage guitar guy. I just don't want or need vintage guitars. But the Y2k Telly, yeah, what a great instrument. It was beat to crap, body was chipped up all over, super played in neck, you know, natural worn finish off the back and everything. It was just so played in, so comfortable to play, great tone on it as well. And even though it would be considered a modern Telly, you know, today it would be 22 years old. And yeah, it was just played in, comfortable, great looking Telecaster. The finish was all kind of like faded on it. It was all natural wear. So I did love that guitar. Maybe I shouldn't have traded that one off. So that's the one I really regret. I wish I had hung on to the Y2k Telly. Yeah, but anyway, it was just a regular American standard Telecaster, but a fantastic version of it. And yeah, a wonderful guitar. So that pretty much wraps up my list with an honorable mention to the PRS Custom 24 Gold Top. There just isn't a lot of Gold Top Custom 24 core models out there. So that was a really cool guitar. Now, when I need my fix, this SE hollow body really does, you know, a great job when I need my PRS fix. Much more affordable, superb playability, great looks. So, you know, can't complain too much about that one. This is a great guitar. But yeah, that gold top, every once in a while I do think about that guitar. I'm like, maybe I should have hung on to that just because of that gold top. It was such a cool guitar. But anyway, that's kind of my list. I'd love to know yours, whether it's a single guitar, like I said, whether it's a couple instruments. Let me know in the comments section below if there's one, you know, hindsight's 2020. You're like, I shouldn't have sold that guitar. Let me know in the comments section below. It'll be a fun read for everybody, yeah, to see the guitars that they let get away and maybe regret a little bit. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Other than that, have yourself a great day. Take care.